we must do the part of the access road. And thirdly, that they will release the land to us, the lease, in 3 tranches. And fourthly, they will not maintain the project as they had so promised because of the capital, size of the capital investment. We would have indicated to the government that it's highly unlikely FIFA will accommodate us being GFF incorporated. We're not into public works as doing roads in a country, and it is unthinkable that we will sign a lease agreement which says you'll have 3 acres now, another 3 after, and then another 5 sometime later down. FIFA came and repeated the exact sentiments and said, look, we will not go down that road. That was a couple of months ago, and so we're still waiting to hear what would be the Honourable Minister's new position as regards.
Also, he hasn't responded to that.
Yeah, but we would have, yes, we would have done practically everything. We would have done the layout.
So what FIFA is saying now? What FIFA saying? They're waiting on you to how long they would wait?
Well,
they have a time frame.
They have so indicated that they will not wait forever. If there's no agreement between the government and ourselves as regards those 4 conditions, if they're not removed, then basically we will have to revisit the GOAT project. And when I say revisit the GOAT project being at Lenora.
Yeah, and the GFF alone would carry that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to open the telephone line. Stay tuned, NCN Sports Magazine.
For the widest selection of quality furniture to suit your home, the place to be is Simakia Woodworking Incorporated, 6 Hague Public Road, West Coast, Demerara. Available are living room suites, wall dividers and cabinets in 15 designs and patterns, beds, wardrobes and vanities in over 20 selections, dinette sets, chest of drawers, writing desks and wooden furniture made to order. At Simakia, we take pride in presenting factory quality furniture at factory prices. Check out our hardware and appliance departments for a wide range of items at unbelievable prices. Simakia Woodworking Incorporated. Quality products at prices you can afford.
Take advantage of great savings at Building Material Depot. All quality items and prices you can't find anywhere else. Here you will find the largest selection of ceramic, granite and marble tiles for floors and walls at the lowest prices in the country. Designer toilet sets and pedestal, stand-up showers and unique styles in bathroom sinks complete with faucets. Custom-made American-style kitchens, granite countertops in various colors and designs, American standard designer single and double steel doors, decorative cement board, PVC ceilings and panels, and for those lasting and stylish roofs, we have American-made roofing shingles. For your added security, solar outdoor lighting and high-quality CCTV cameras and monitors. We offer special rates for contractors. Enhance your home or building with top-quality products at great prices from Building Material Depot at Lot 8 Industrial Site, Ramville. Telephone 231-8344.
Distributed by Mike's Pharmacy and available at all leading pharmacies countrywide.
All right, welcome back to NCN Sports Magazine. We're going to open the telephone lines 226-2691, 225-8025 while we chat and so on. We have one or two other things to raise, but give us a call And as I said, if you have any queries, any concerns, any questions, and what have you, Mr. Matthias is here, Mr. France. Hello, good evening. Welcome to NCN Sports Magazine.
Hello, good night, Edwin.
Yes, sir.
Just a few questions for these guys.
Yeah, Mr. Matthias, Mr. France, go ahead.
Honestly, firstly, let me say, football has been a disgrace to Guyana, this present administration. For one, let me tell you why. I don't know, 15 months you said they're in office. Not one match have been played with Guyana and another foreign team. That means when they came in office in last year, Guyana was rated like 95 or say about 100. Now they must be, because they are not playing, every month their ratings have been dropped. They must reach about nearly about 150 or 175 by now, right?
All right, we're going to hear from Mr. Martin.
Let me just say what and then I'll
Yes,
go
ahead.
This administration is I don't know, it's instead of being like football, it's more of like they're just fighting one another, see who have more power and resignation and whatever. Come on, folks. No, you know we're big people. If we don't work together, we cannot move nothing. And for football to grow, this executive need to come together. We got to compromise, and that's one of the things that is destroying our country, and we see it is destroying football in Guyana. As a Guyanese, I'm totally it's a total disgrace to Guyana.
Oh, good. Thanks.
Let me say this.
Yeah, quickly.
This football, you need to just like cricket at the moment. It's these two sports are the number one, number two in Guyana, and they're two disgrace to Guyana. It's not showing anywhere. It's going down. It's past the drain. It's already in the canal and going into the ocean already. That's how far it's going. And you folks need to just, as Guyanese, I'm speaking on behalf, I'm not a footballer, I'm speaking on behalf as a Guyanese. I'm proud when we Guyanese go out there, any sports team. I support any sports team once it's a Guyana. Even if they don't win or not, we support them. The last week when the basketball team went to play in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and I'm proud of them, because, even though they brought fifth, but because you know what, they represent Guyana. They can come back now and say they know where they're standing. Can the football association say where the team is standing? They cannot say because they don't know where they're doing. If they go and play a team anywhere now, they might beat 25 minutes.
All right, good. All right, let's hear what Mr. Matthias has to say. Thanks for coming.
I want to just come,
Yes.
fellas. Y'all put your difference together and work together as a team. And come. I'm embarrassed to be, honestly, they will say that when it comes to football, that we have a football team.
All right, thanks for coming, sir. All right, I can understand his emotions and so forth and so on. All right, he's saying that for 15 months or so they have not been playing yet. Right?
I share his sentiments and his concern for the non-development of football. Football was not developed because of the last 15 months, the last 20 how much years. We have inherited the non-development. Administratively, we've spoken that there have been no clubs. If you call where we were in the world ranking development, then we have a different understanding of what development is. Because the importation of foreign personnel to play as a national team, and after they leave, we have nothing residual remaining here. We have national players who, if they see their names, they don't know their names. National players who don't know that the football field is rectangular and not square. Then where is the development we're talking about? And that is what we're correcting. France is far more technically correct than I am, and I will allow him to speak on the technical and tactical aspect. But we can't talk about movement and calling it development, because movement is not necessarily development. Advancement is not necessarily development. And that's why we're going back to the grassroots. We need to have players, when they see their names, they know their names. When they recognize their names. When we need to have players, for too long we've been hearing that when you go to the immigration, you have players can't fill up an immigration form. And you're aware what we're talking about, Edwin. That has to be corrected. A classic example has been And I say Sir Chandapal. Many in Guyana felt that Chandapal was not a good speaker. And work was done with him. An environment was created where work was done with him. And today when you hear Chandapal speak, you are left amazed. And that is what has to happen with the football environment. And I agree with him. We all need, all the stakeholders need to work together to achieve that human development. FIFA is asking for it. We're asking for it. And it's not just window dressing, bringing in foreign players, assemble a national team and then take them abroad, and when they go only to such a point, then they go back to their respective countries and nothing residual is here. I close on this note. Our present technical director, Mr. Mark Rodriguez from the US, said to us, we need to stop assembling national teams and build them. He will tell you more about how Germany built its present national team and is a successful winner of today's World Cup.
Quickly, yes.
I wouldn't agree with him that we have not played international football in the past 15 months. We have not played senior international male football.
Well, that's what he's talking about.
And while I agree that that is the flagship of your country, it depends on the type of ship you want to sail. You understand? We could continue to sail the small fishing boats we are sailing, or we could aim to start putting super tankers and aircraft carriers out there.
We take time to put this together.
Thank you, my dear. and it also takes a structure. I want to tell you that, okay, let's look at the last 5 to 6 years. Guyana have not had an under 13 inter-association tournament. We have just referred
So you're not having the nursery.
Like I referred to at the start, long-term athlete development program. There's a certain catchment window in terms of development. If you are not taught technique during that window, you will not ever be able to become technically sound at the highest level.
At the senior
Thank
level.
you. There's a certain window. If you are not going through the right type of strength training, you will never be able
So you're
to
saying
be
that
as
you're
strong
not putting
we
those measures
need
in
this
place.
structure.
The
Definitely.
basics.
And may I say this to you, as he said, work together. There are folk who are fighting for that not to be in place. For that not to be in place, because it serves their interests when you could bring in 10 and 15 foreign players and you expend monies in that direction. And when you say expend, not necessarily expend, but you expend money in that direction, and there's no development. There's no development as we know, technical and tactical.
Yeah.
But the senior team, will they be participating in this tournament in September?
Yes.
Definitely, yes.
So now we are at the end, mid-July.
Mid-July, yes.
So when will this team be encamped, or what will happen from now to then?
Well, there goes another problem for Guyana.
Yes.
In that because of how poor our structure is, we are always trying to encamp team for 2 weeks or more at tremendous cost. But I'll give you this. FIFA is saying if you're putting together a team for a friendly game, the club they're with only need to release them for 48 hours. If it's for a tournament like the CFU, 4 to 5 days. If it's a CONCACAF finals, 10 to 14 days. See that? But in Guyana, we cannot bring players in for 2 days and put them into anything because they're never where they're supposed to be.
Yep.
And
Not
even
supposed to be.
after bringing them in for 2 weeks, we can't take them to where they're supposed to be. Let me give you one of the examples. It needs at least 10 load, 10 of a certain type of load, for you to start benefiting from something called hypercompensation, which is a physical conditioning process. And it needs to be done at 48 hours apart. That takes you over 14 days. So because our club structure is so poor, when the players come, they're never where they're supposed to be. And if we stay in that environment, we can play in a million tournament. We have never won a CFU tournament, never qualified for the Gold Cup. Isn't it time for us to stop and see what's wrong and try to put the right structure so that the next time we won't be eating and missing? Thank you.
Let's see who's here. NCN Sports Magazine, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, just turn the volume down.
Mr. Class, Mr. Class.
Hello.
Matthias, well, congratulations, we haven't seen me.
Hello.
What?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Just turn the volume down a little.
Oh. If system that the technical director is saying, that 100 million, the proceeds that we will be getting from the World Cup, if we could use some of that, starting, we need to go more urbanized.
football is centered too much in Georgetown. In my time, you used to go be called the North and South. You understand me? And you had it at the PUE level. You understand me? You got too much senior football, and apart from that, you need to train more coaches. You understand me?
Yep.
And I think in them time, I am boasting. In me time, I think I was a better player than most of the players that make the national team. But owing to the time the director would have been a Billy player, you understand me? I want to call the other player by the name of Robert Pill. We can't even knock a ball. But because he come from Pill, we got to stop getting these biases. All the boy they got a match today, you see Port Kaituma of the Chonian, another team. Them areas, them players close to let him. You understand me? You got to go down there and scout talent. You understand me? As you rightly said, not bringing in players from outside. You understand me? And then you're gone. You understand me? As the technical, the endorse, we say them, not assemble team, build team. Because if you take into consideration, Costa Rica beat we about 7-1, and Costa Rica reached the quarterfinal. Hoping that next World Cup, Guyana is bigger than Trinidad, and Trinidad could have qualified for a World Cup final in 2006. I'm hoping that 2018.
It's our turn now.
I'm hoping that 2018 that we qualify for the World Cup final. If not, Guyana's not there. You got 4 years to do that.
All right, good, sir.
I hope that you do that for me.
Thanks for coming through. Yeah.
Edwin, that's why we're starting with this on the 17 that went out. This on the 17 we'll be playing as a unit for the next 4 years. And it's all about structure and structure again. The gentleman would have said it. You can't have, you could build a beautiful building. A lot of students want to be in that building. You don't have teachers. So most of our monies that will be coming in will be focusing on technical and tactical development. Coaches, education. We need to have more qualified teachers. The teachers got to be better than the students. We need to have resources. Can you imagine after many years, the first time a club would have received 10 football is recent. A football ought to be a basic tool of your trade. People are excited just to receive 2 football, and we want to make sure that every footballer has his or her own personal football. That's what we're looking for. And as France would lament, Mr. President, we have to have at least 3 artificial turf in this country. So that at no time can the GDF put up a red flag and say, well, you can't play on our ground, or police, or GFC, or Buxton, or BV. We must be able to play football in any weather if we're to advance. So we're talking about structure at every level.
All right. This is interesting. Now, we're talking about the development of football and structure and what have you. The caller just now mentioned that 2018 that you hope again qualify.
We're going there.
But as a nation, as a football federation and so on, you know, it was very sad to know that the World Cup final 2014 was being played in Brazil. 6 South American countries were in the 32 teams that started, and Guyana was still bickering as to who would lead the GFF. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
We need to get our act together.
It was sad, Edwin, and it begs the question as to if, when you listen to the arguments advanced, if you can call them arguments, you really question if these gentlemen are indeed serious about football development. One reporter would have said to be, after the aborted Congress, he approached 3 of the goodly gentlemen and asked them, if you had overthrown Matthias and Ghana had been banned, how would you have felt? And they said we didn't care. They didn't care.
So coming back to the Brazil situation now, South American generally a strong footballing area. You plan to work along with some of those South American countries and so forth as you pursue your development trust?
You know, only yesterday I was going through a document called Project One.
Project One.
And this from FIFA. And this was initiated since in the 70s by Mr. Avalanche as the president. It is what has led to the other projects we're having, like gold projects and so on now. And that was a distinct part of it, where they had appealed to these associations that are better established to use their resources to assist the lesser association. And I want to tell you that that is something that has been happening. I don't think over the years we have taken full advantage of it.
Right.
So I do hope that the level of cooperation and partnership and collaboration can be established.
Well, then,
for us
we
to
talked
make
earlier
use
about
of-
government's involvement and cooperation and what have you.
Yeah,
Government
but
has relations with almost all those countries in South America. So pursue it.
They also
You know,
need to be
pursue it.
done at the international and
level.
association to association level.
NCN Sports Magazine, good evening.
Hi, a pleasant good night to you and the panel.
Yes, good evening.
I would just like to ask a simple question.
Go ahead.
Mr. Matthias, what actually came out of the shifting of the game with Guyana and Mexico? The game we actually took to Mexico,
Yeah, that's a good one. I have it here, but go ahead.
out from that. And, we actually promised the guys, when we were actually winning, we promised the Jaguars, I think people came on board and said we can get house and land.
House lots, yeah, house lots, yes.
All of that, I think did not came to fruition. So, can you answer me on that, please?
Good.
Right, good day, bye-bye.
Good. Now the Mexico deal, right? I understand when they had shifted it, Mr. Adonis, Mr. Frank Wilson, who was the acting president, did say publicly that it was going to bring economic benefits. That was the reason why they were going to shift it to Mexico. Yes, sir.
I think it would be unfair for me to make that comment, and I'll tell you why. Rama McRae came on the instruction or directive of a Congress, which elected me, to do a forensic audit of the years 2011 and 2012.
This is talking about Frankie Wilson's
Yeah.
tenure. Yeah.
Frankie Wilson / Colin Class / Frankie Wilson. And to date, the aborted Congress, and it is felt that the reason why there was an attempt to have me moved, a vote of no confidence moved against me early in the agenda, was for the issue of the audit not to come, because Mr. Luciano from Rama McRae sat there all those hours waiting to present his report. We would have been advised that we cannot or we ought not to make that report public until it has been presented by the auditors to the Congress. And because we want to be principled and professional, we have not divulged that information. Member persons would have asked us to leak it and to say also, we said we will not do it. But
Well, I would say something on that because I was at a press conference when Mr. Wilson, it was raised, and I think it was December a year or two ago, and Mr. Wilson did say that they suffered a loss. He didn't say to what extent, because he said they were still, going through the figures. So I'm saying that because that's what he said, actually. But after probably about 2 years or more, 2 years or more, we are not hearing anything, the exact figure, what happened really with that scenario, switching the match to Mexico. Now, the caller raised the issue with the house lots. I remember that it was Mr. Lumumba who took members of the Golden Jaguars to meet with then President Jacques Dieu.
Yep.
And that was all over the press. It's no secret that if they had reached a certain level, they would have
we given a house lot.
given house lots. Now, Mr. Pollard was here, yes, and I did ask him the question. He said that everybody was waiting. I called Mr. Lumumba to find out. Mr. Lumumba said, "Man, don't ask me. You gotta ask the minister." I said, "But Mr. Lumumba, I'm telling the facts. This is what he said. I said, "Man, but the minister was not there. You were there leading the delegation." He said, "Man, see, Raj, I'm getting old now, so I can't remember." That's what he said. So all these things are happening.
Well,
The
we
player's
are-
still waiting on the house lots.
We all do suffer every now and then from
Selective amnesia.
So.
Selective amnesia.
So up there,
We plan to, again, I say, honor all our commitments and obligations to all our stakeholders, transparency and accountability. As regards the issue of the house lots, we will be pursuing it with the President, Mr. Donald Ramatar, to see exactly if the government can honor the commitment made to the players.
Good. Wonderful. All right. The GFC, quickly as we wind up. The GFC comes under your purview?
No.
That's but you may have some input and so on there.
Well, just basically a working and cordial relationship with them. And it is one of the places we are looking towards developing. You know, Edwin, many Sundays persons go out to the GFC. A lot of young ladies dressed to kill, and they spend at least 4 or 5 hours just standing there. If you really care about the stakeholders, being one of which is the spectators, it couldn't hurt you to put a stand. Couldn't hurt you to put back the ungrateful
So the
stand.
GFC, what? I know it's a Georgetown Football Club. It's owned by the club, or the GFA has any input there?
No, they don't have
So
they
just
don't have an input,
the GFC.
Yeah.
Well, they need to do something really.
We plan to work with, at the GFF level, with GFC in putting a stand there, at least 2 stands, to make sure that people are somewhat comfortable.
All right, as we close off now, because there are so many things that, we have touched on this evening, because this interview or discussion was long in coming, but I really wanted to give Mr. Matthias and the other members of the executive the entire program, One of the things that have been peddled around is that you were to go to a meeting in
Zurich.
Yes, Zurich. And I think Mr. Ivan Passad, for one, he was on a program here, and he did mention that you said that you were at the meeting, and he said you lied, and, were you at the meeting?
I wasn't at the meeting.
You were not at the meeting. Why you were not at the meeting? Because you had left to go to the meeting?
Yes. Edwin, I brought you this gift also. From FIFA. And all my travel as regards football development is directed and supported by FIFA. And if you look at that document, I've been traveling since 1987. Now, I can't be that stupid to know that I'm traveling, going to X place, don't arrive there and tell the nation that I was there. In this age of technological advancement, even before I returned to Guyana, there were folk who knew that I did not arrive in Zurich. In fact, my staff knew that I didn't arrive in Zurich. When I got there, FIFA said visa for USA required, visa for Switzerland, you see it right there?
It has not required.
Visa for Switzerland not required. So when I got there, the Swiss guy said to me, which Guyana are you from? Is it French Guyana, Dutch Guyana, or English Guyana? I said to him, English Guyana. And he said, from our records, we